Hello, Detroit cricket lovers. This is DCL Talk Show on DCL Radio, and most probably this is our last show of the season. And today we'll be discussing about the finals, and um, we have our regular analysts Jasneet and Imti with us, and also we have winning captain Sandeep Gopu, and the most important guy of the night, the what do you call? So there's always a thin line between win and lose. Okay, the guy who pushed Indus into that win by just pushing them, crossing them that thin line is Jalaj. Is with us, and let me welcome all of those, and then we will get into all the details of the finals. Welcome to the show, Jesse.
Yeah, thanks, Jagan, and welcome all the listeners into most probably the final show of the season. And what a fantastic season we had, and it ended. I think the finals was absolutely the icing on the cake. Great match. Had everything in it: drama, comebacks, and in quality bowling, batting, and fielding. So I think it was a season to remember and one to be cherished for a long time.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that one. And welcome to the show, Imti.
Thanks, Jagan. Again, I'd like to welcome all our listeners. Probably like we are saying the last show of the season. So hopefully we'll have a lot to talk in the show. And I would also like to congratulate Indus Thunders on a beautiful win in the final and being the champions for this season. So congratulations, and we'll talk more in the show.
Welcome to the show, winner of DCL 2019, captain of Indus Thunders, Sandeep Gopu. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jagan, and thanks everyone for inviting me to the show, and welcome all listeners. And it definitely been an exciting season, and thanks for all the hard work from DCL committee, and special thanks to all the umpires, third umpire, and as well as the scorers. Welcome all.
Okay, and now the man of the moment, the talk of Detroit is Jalaj. Welcome to the show, Jalaj.
Thanks, Jagan. I welcome all the DCL radio listeners here, probably to the last radio show. What a fantastic tournament we had, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Okay, and though on the paper, on our site, the game looks one-sided. Like Indus Thunder scored 115 runs, and Brownstown chasing that bundled for 86. Though it looks very one-sided game, but I was at the game, and it was tensed till the last. I mean, 4 or 5 overs. I think the game changed in last 4 or 5 overs, and especially when Sandeep Gopu used his trump card, Jalaj, in one of the second power play of I think it was 21st or 22nd over, something like that. And when Jalaj was introduced, everyone in the every spectator there, they thought Mansa Bhatt is going to go after Jalaj and game will be over pretty soon. But of course, I know Jalaj how well he bowls because I have seen him very close because I played with him. He turned the game very first ball of that over, taking actually in the same over. He also got another wicket, but he would have got he should have got one more wicket, but there was a drop catch there. And with that, I'll straight away go to Jasneet. Jasneet, your thoughts?
Yes, I think very rightly said. And to be honest, we talk about a lot of strategy and all those things, but I think I
Hello? Imti, can you listen me?
Jagan, I can hear you. I think he dropped out. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Okay, we will wait for Jasneet. Then I'll go straight to you, Imti, now. Okay, Imti, you're watching the game from right from the ball 1-2 till the end, from the best seat. So, how you felt? Can you walk us through about all your emotions as an umpire?
Yes, I was. It was fortunate enough to be umpire for this game, and I had the best seat watching the proceedings of this game, and it was absolutely cracker of a game, I would say, because it had everything in it, ebbs and flows, like the game seesawed for almost like 40 overs, and then I think eventually the team that played better on the day won the game. But I thought, like again, you mentioned looking at the scorecard, it looks like a one-sided game, but in no way was the game one-sided, because we all were hooked up to the game until the 45th over of the game. Like the 20th over is where, like, almost after losing Mansab and Adnan 2021st over, that is when I think it was kind of convincingly said, it can be said that Indus Thunders had the grip on the game, because like those two players can change the game in the end also, even like with 2 or 3 overs left. So so again, the point here is, like, it was no way a one-sided game, and it did flow up and down throughout the course of the game. But I thought in the first innings, I think Indus Thunders had a good template, and the main aim was to keep wickets in hand and then accelerate the score at the end of the innings, and that's what this innings, because until the first 20 overs, I think they were going around 3.25 runs per over, and they were around 75 runs mark at 20 overs, and then in the end they accelerated and got those 40 runs in the last 5 overs, making the score to 115. I think it was a good strategy, but I think on the day it mattered most. I think Brownstown was let down a little bit with their bowling, I would say. Again, there was no chances or anything that really could have made things different for Brownstown bowling. I think like Indus Thunders played really cautiously and had that aim to keep wickets in hand, and they did that very beautifully, I would say. That paid off for them. And then coming into the bowling, I think Indus Thunders, Brownstown also did the same thing. They just took the same template from Indus Thunders, wanted to keep wickets in hand, and they knew that they had batsmen that could score in the end if needed, and they just wanted to keep wickets in hand, and they scored steadily, because I think the first wicket fell around 22 runs, and then after that the second wicket partnership almost went for 50 plus runs. And at one stage they were like 69 to 70 runs for one wicket, and it was looking like a cakewalk for them at that point, because Sandeep Gopu had used almost 6-7 bowling options, and he was trying desperately for that wicket, and Brownstown were like steadily scoring, and they were around 3.54 runs per an over. And once that they got that breakthrough of the second wicket, I think Indus Thunders just ran down the batting order of Brownstown, and it was completely a turnaround for Indus Thunders from a situation where they were desperately looking, staring at a defeat. I think it turned all like 180 degrees, and the game came in control of Indus Thunders. Again, one point here I would say, like, I think, yes, we have been talking about Jalaj and his wickets that changed the game, but I think Dinesh also bowled a very tremendous spell in the middle, where he got the wicket of Rehan Syed, and also Manoj getting Talal's wicket at crucial point. I think those two wickets were kind of crucial, and that after that the wickets just kept falling, and then Jalaj coming in and picking Mansab Butt and Adnan Ali, like everything fell into place for Indus Thunders. And no matter, but I'm not taking anything away from Indus Thunders though, but I think the bowling changes that they made in the second half of their bowling really worked in their favor, and they did get the crucial wickets at crucial point of time, and they got the game into their hands. So it was well executed plan by Sandeep, and it worked out. So good game and good win for Indus Thunders.
Okay, very well summarized. We have Jasneet back on the show. Welcome to the show again, Jasneet.
Thank you, Jagan. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead with your analysis.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I was audible at all when I started speaking, but to me, I think a lot of credit in this particular match, as far as Thunder's victory has to be seen, I think has to go to their captain. I mean, defending a good total, I would say, not the total that is, I mean, invincible, but a very good total as far as final is concerned. But having the start that they got with Talal, a very dangerous batsman, set. I think some of the decisions that Sandeep took. I mean, I in particularly was very impressed on the day of the finals by his leadership. Uh, he was firmly believing that this match would go to the wire and he would need his best of the resources to be to be feeling that if we don't deliver now, we'll not be the winner of this 2019 season. And that's when actually you are pumped up. That's when you give your best. And he understood that from the entire season, Brownstone have been following the same template, that all they have to do is to give a platform to Adnan, Mansab, and Shahzad. These three batsmen would come in and change the face of the game. They would invariably be looking at 60 for 5 in 20 overs, and then they would end up scoring 120 runs and scoring those 60 runs in the last 5 overs. So I think that was the template. They knew that that's coming. They saved Dinesh for a spell. I think who in the finals have his best bowler? I think Dinesh is Indus Thunder's best bowler as far as fast bowling is concerned. Yes, they have two quality spinners in Jalaj and Dhruv, but I think if you really talk about quality pace bowling, that is the norm. I think Dinesh Panditi is in top 2-3 as far as the entire league is concerned. So he saved him for a pretty significant period of time. I think for the first 8 to 9 overs, he didn't bowl even a single over. He was the sixth or seventh bowler to be introduced, and Manoj was also, I think, just one before that. So he knew that all he needed from his upfront bowlers, who I'm not saying they are not their first choice, but their job was, even if you don't get wickets, I know that Brownstone batsmen are not going to get out playing some rash shots up front, but do not make them score freely. That's when they would be 2 steps ahead of us, because they have batsmen that needs to come. And another impressive thing was the matchups. I think if you play all the teams on paper in this particular league, I think Glads are far ahead of every other team. But one smart thing that teams like Indus Thunders do, which impresses me a lot, is the matchups. I think they knew that every time Mansab and Adnan and players, these 2-3 players, have been treating the medium and the fast bowlers very badly, because all they want is pace on the ball. The faster it comes, the farther it goes. That's the funda of Mansab and Adnan, and every hitter that likes pace on the ball has the same, because they don't have to induce the power. All they need is timing, and the pace of the bowler will do the rest. What a great matchup in a power play situation, where Sandeep knew that they do not have a choice now. All they have to do is connect and go for sixes. Trust your spinners. I think in a final, to do that speaks a lot about the leadership abilities of Sandeep and his team that back him so much. And I think both the teams tried to follow their template. Both the teams did absolutely. I think when I was looking at the scorecard, it was looking like an error-free game from both sides. Both were trying to be trusting their plans, what have been working for them the entire season. I think what changed the game was a fantastic leadership skills by Sandeep when he introduced Jalaj into the attack, and knowing that it can go other way, but he knew that every other bowler, it would be into the batsman hand that he would be playing. It would be in favor of Mansab and Adnan. Though the best weapon that he had was Jalaj, and I think he used him perfectly. And of course, the adrenaline rush that the Dinesh showed on that particular night, on that particular day, I think was fantastic. That's what you expect from your premium fast bowler. He might not have the best of the seasons that he had previously, but that's when the champion players come into picture. The bigger the stage, they like to conquer that. They like to make sure that they are the ones who make a valuable difference and win the games for that. So I think a fantastic game, but to be honest, a very proud season for both the teams. Not taking anything away from Brownstown. Fantastic season, and I think they should be pretty happy. They would be disappointed with the finals, but I think they had a great run, and they would cherish this season.
Yeah, I agree with you that I mean there's no shame in losing to best team, and at the same time, Brownstown, I must say, they have given a lot of hopes to DCL teams that you can win from anywhere in this league. Okay, and
Yeah.
see, and we all talked about whole season like at least till the 10th week, or till at least a couple of weeks before our regular season, and there were these two teams, uh, Brownstone and GLCC, and nowhere in the picture of playoffs. At least for me, they were nowhere in the playoffs, and they made it to a level where, especially Brownstone, they made it to finals. Gives hope to entire league for next season that anybody can win in DCL. Okay, with that, I'll go to
Yeah.
Sandeep.
And Jagan, just one last thing. I mean, I missed a very significant mention that I think created a huge impact on this game. Uh, till 14 overs, when Chetan was dismissed in the 15th over, the score was reading around 43. Uh, yes, he did his job because his job is to give a platform that they are not 4 or 5 wickets down. And yes, they have the talent. Indus Thunders have the talent that uh, invariably one or two of them would in the latter half of the innings would come in and chip in with significant contributions and quick fire runs. If not 150 strike rate, but at least 70 to 100 strike rate that gives them that impetus and make them cross that 100. But on the night of finals, if we take that for granted that okay, someone had to do that, I think it would be pretty unjust for a guy like Madhu. I think in the batting department, he changed the face of the game. From reeling at 14.2 overs with 43 for 3 or 4, I think 43 for 3. And when he got dismissed in the 20th over, in the 21st over, the scorecard was reading 79. So the time that he spent on the wicket, there was 36 runs scored in the space of 6 overs. Uh, setting a platform is one thing, but I mean, it can always go wrong. There is no big deal that Brownstone would have seized this opportunity that okay, we are not too unhappy about the platform that you have created for your team, but we'll make sure that we keep on taking wickets and not let you take advantage and bundle out you for 70 or 80. But I think Madhu deserves a lot of credit with the way he batted. I'm not particularly sure because I don't see too many boundaries. I think a lot of contribution should have been coming from twos from the offside, and I think the quality of Brownstone bowling that they have in their disposal, I think it's a great innings and one of the significant contributions apart from Jalaj and Dinesh in this finals to make Indus Thunders champions again.
True, and also Narendra Achenta, he also played really well in a crucial situation, and it's always blessing to have a player like Madhusudan Haveri in any team. Like he's one of the best fielders I have seen in our league. Okay, with that I'll go to Sandeep Gopu. Gopu, all celebrations are done.
No, Jagan, not yet, but definitely everybody are in trying to digest whatever happened. Still, I'm more concerned in terms of like I really feel like I didn't realize like it's that the DCL season is already done, and I was sick for the last few days, and everybody were asking, is it the DCL fever or is it the DCL finals you won? I don't know the reason for it, but absolutely, I'm so thrilled and so. I mean, I don't know what to say, but credit goes to the entire team who supported me throughout, and Jalaj especially. The reason I'm saying Jalaj is Jalaj was not supposed to be part of the team. In the last 4-5 league games, he played the 3 games to just get qualified, and I didn't even have hope like Jalaj would be part of the 11 because of his availability. So I didn't expect him to be playing the 3-game quota, but luckily he played and was part of the playing 12. And
Yeah,
definitely, I
Jagan
mean,
KCC player. I don't know how he ended up in Indus Thunders.
no, I mean, I've been asking Jalaj for last couple of years, and Jalaj knows as well. But I mean, luckily he played this year, and somehow I feel like one of the MDCC players, other than Manoj. I mean, I was part of MDCC, Dinesh and Vijay, but Anirudh Dorle, who was part of the team last 2 years, but this year I think Anirudh was not available. So I think there is some sort of a lucky charm from MDCC, I believe. And instead of Anirudh this time, it was Jalaj. So I was really happy that Jalaj played the 3 match quota and was qualified for the playoffs. So and yeah, I mean definitely, I mean we had a great game. Nothing to take away from that. But as I mentioned on Saturday night after the semi-final, I promised it would be a cracker of a game, and it was a cracker of a game. And the only reason I was like more concentrated on the finals is I definitely knew that against Brownstown, Indus would definitely would have a good game, even though the result may be in our favor or not. But obviously, win the toss. We went for batting, and we really put up a good score. And the initial motive was to hold the wickets, and that's rightly executed by Manoj and Chetan. And after that, we were never like 12 overs. We were 38 for no loss, but everybody was saying like we were just over 3 runs. That's it. So I was like, okay. I mean, it's not a big deal. Even though we are 3 runs per over, we have 13 overs and 78 balls to go. So I believed like if at all we scored like at least 6 per over from there, we would at least reach 110 plus, and that was our motive on playing the entire 25-over quota. Even though we have lost quick wickets in the middle, all I believed in was if we have to win a championship, we have to believe in our 11 batting. So that's exactly what I had in my thought, and not to forget, Narendra and Madhu's partnership was crucial in getting the 115 run mark. And coming to the bowling, definitely I was trying a few different things in first 8 overs. I think Imti and Jasneet was mentioning about not bringing up Manoj or Dinesh in the first 8 or 9 overs. Yeah, that's exactly was the plan. Like if at all we get at least 1 or 2 quick wickets, I do have a belief on getting back onto the game. But and that is the reason why I got Chetan in as the first change for the left-hander, and he rightly executed his role on picking up his wicket. So after that, Talal, I do had a lot of belief in Talal being performing in the final. The reason being he didn't perform well in pre-quarters, quarters, and semis, and he is one kind of a match winner from Brownstown. If he didn't perform for the last 3 games, obviously he would be one of the guys to look for in the finals. And honestly speaking, I was not much worried about Mansab or Adnan, but I was more worried about Talal. So that is exactly what I told to my players, saying, okay, if we take Talal in the first few overs, I think the game is right back with Thunders, and I think we could not take him in the earlier stage, but at least like after the 12-over mark, we're 69 for one, and I tried to bring Dhruv, but it didn't work out. But after that, I thought like, okay, let's bring my fast bowler Dinesh, and he took Rehan's wicket, and I think that was a turning point. And after that, one immediately I brought Manoj in, who took Talal's wicket. I think Talal's wicket was the match-winning moment for us, and I really felt like even though Mansab was in the crease, I only felt like because watching Mansab and Adnan for the last few games, I felt like they will be really successful if you bowl too fast or a medium pace, but they might fail if you bring up a spinner, and it might be in terms of Dhruv or Jalaj. And I think Jalaj was a pick because Dhruv was not up to his potential on that day due to his, back injury. But Jalaj was outstanding that day, and whatever he's supposed to deliver, he did deliver for the team. And I think that that is another game changer. And I think after the 21st over, where he took the first ball wicket of Mansab, and after the 23rd over, last ball of his over, Adnan's wicket, I think outstanding. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think it was great game of cricket, and I think it's completely. I can say like there is no I in the team. It's obviously an enthusiastic and tremendous support from the team will give us a win, and that was a reality at the end to the final. So kudos to the entire team for supporting me on whatever decisions I take, even though it's a win or fail. But I think I'm really grateful to such a great team.
Okay, man of the moment, Jalaj, welcome to the show. And how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling very well and very happy for the team. First of all, very, very big thanks to Sandeep actually, who gave me the opportunity to play with such an champion team. I seriously feel that Indus is one of the best team in the tournament. Right from the openers, Manoj and Chetan, they have provided in every match they have provided us a solid base. Not only the finals or the semi-finals, but whatever matches I have witnessed and I have played with them, in every match I have seen, no early wickets, nothing, just, a solid background. Coming back to the finals, actually, in finals too, they did pretty
I
well.
want you to start from semi-finals. Semi-finals, you have taken a hat trick. From there to, I want you to talk about finals. So,
Okay.
how you felt after the hat trick?
Obviously very happy, but I
Yeah.
didn't expect that I would get an hat trick. As after the break, when me and Manoj were walking on the pitch, usually in DCL, what they do is they wipe the pitch, and which gives the ball a little bit less turn. So I was thinking that ball is going to turn less. I just wanted to ball in the right areas. As Manoj said to me at that time, that the first half they executed pretty well. In the second half, if we do well and if we don't let them score, then the match will be ours. Otherwise, they were safely cruising to around 100-run mark, I think. When Ajit came to bat, he was looking to make a room and hit me over the covers for 2 or 1. He was just trying to give me room every ball. So I had a plan that I would just ball middle and leg and faster ones and little bit round arm. So that gave me his wicket. Naseem Khan I was told that I have never seen him bat, and I was told that he's just going to go after me, and I thought that if I just take the ball away from him, he's gonna miss it me, and that's exactly what happened. The third wicket, Ashraf Bhai's wicket, I have known him play. He is a very good batsman. He swept me in the previous ball that he faced in the previous over. So I thought that he's gonna try to do me the same thing. He would shuffle across on the off stump and he would try to sweep me. So I wanted to keep the ball little bit, outside the off stump or on the off stump, and I did that, and that was a pure luck. The third wicket was pure luck. I didn't expect that he would just give a simple catch to Vijay. So that's how it happened actually.
Jalaj, you missed Manish Kadre's wicket too.
Oh, that was not a part of the hat trick. I think that was in the next
Fourth
over
wicket,
I
I
got.
believe, yeah.
Yeah, that was the fourth wicket I got, and that wicket I think I'll give to Sandeep. He took a very good one-handed catch, and I didn't expect. I was just passing through my overs at that time. So that wicket I would give to Sandeep. Finals was totally, a complete team effort, I would say. Manoj and Chetan, as usual, they played very well. They gave us a very solid background to score. And I thought that, the Narendra and Madhu's partnership was very crucial one, because as soon as Manoj got out, Sandeep got out in the same over, I think, or very early actually. And that was the time when we needed a very good partnership. Otherwise, the Brownstown would have, run through our lineup. And immediately after that, Chetan also got out. So we thought that, we needed a very good partnership, and Narendra and Madhu provided that. And actually, I would say that that was the very crucial point, and that's why we could score actually that big. So, and they batted pretty well in the middle, which allowed us to score around 115, which I thought was a very competitive score. In the finals, while chasing, it would be very difficult for Brownstown to chase down that 115 mark. Bowling, I would say that, I did not do anything special. Everybody is just kind of generous enough to give me that, um, my piece of luck actually. But it was a pure brilliance from Manoj and Dinesh, I think. They bowled pretty well in the middle overs. And after the break, when Talal got out, I think Manoj took Talal's wicket. And immediately after that, Rehan Bhai got out. So that created an opening for us. And it's a tradition of all the T-ball games and the DCL games. Once you create an opening and the new batsmen are in, you can put a lot of pressure on them. So that's where I think, the game started to come back, roll towards us. In the final overs, when they require, I think, around 35 or 36 runs in 5 odd overs or so, we had a little bit of, team discussion, a short team discussion, that who should that ball, that over should be handed to. I seriously thought that, it wouldn't come to me, because at that time, the bowling goes to the best bowler of that day actually, because that was a very crucial moment where Mansab and Adnan were at the crease. And I have heard them that they can go crazy when in the final overs, and scores at a very high run rate. So I thought that it would go to Dinesh, or either Dinesh or Manoj. But I would appreciate Sandeep's entrepreneurial quality actually. He had something different in mind, and I had never thought that ball he would give me an over. So when I was given the ball, I think Manoj and Dinesh were also in favor that I should bowl that fifth over. And then when the ball was given to me, I just had one thing in mind, that I just want to, give this a tight over, so that, when the next over either Manoj or Dinesh balls, they can contain them, and then can put much more pressure, on the two batsmen. The only thing that was running through my mind is that if I turn the ball, if I take the ball away, he is not going to hit me, because I have seen him bat in the previous match against Gladiators. He is very strong from long on to the square leg region, and he was hitting all his sixes around that region. So I thought that I would ball middle and off stump and would take the ball away. Even if it goes wide, it doesn't matter. Or even if he hits me for a two, couple or one, it doesn't matter. But I wouldn't ball anything on the leg stump, because if it doesn't turn, it's gonna go towards, it's gonna cross the boundary. But the ball started turning, it turned sharp, and Naren took a very good catch actually. In a nick of moment, he just caught it just before that wire fencing. Otherwise, the ball would have hit that. So I think that was it. And I have bowled Adnan. I have bowled to Adnan before as well in the leather ball tournament, and I have seen him bat actually. So, and I knew him, pretty well from that time, that he is not that good when the ball is slightly outside the off stump. I know that he cannot hit those balls. So my plan was simple, that I wanted to keep the ball, again, 1-2 clicks outside the off stump, so that even if he swings, the ball could catch a top edge or something, uh, and would fall into hands of any fielder. And that's what exactly happened actually in the second ball after taking Mansab wicket. But unfortunately, the catch got dropped. But that's okay. I mean, so that's what it is. And I mean, it was a complete team effort, and I mean, I will give credit to Sandeep for taking such a risk. If I would have been the captain, I wouldn't have done that. And it all belongs to Sandeep actually. He's very wonderful as a leader, and he's given me opportunity to play in semi-finals and finals. Even though I haven't played a lot of league matches, I just barely qualified. So yeah, that's what it
Okay,
is.
that's modest reply from Jalaj, and Jalaj is not just bowler. He's a good bat too. He can play very long innings and very suitable batsman for DCL. And see, another observation during the finals. This is exactly what I felt was the difference between these two teams is another agility, and in especially when Narendra and Madhusudan were batting, they were trying to convert ones into twos, twos into threes, like that. Whereas it was exactly opposite, with the Brownstone. They never tried to put any pressure on the fielders. That's my observation. And with that, I'll go to Imti. Do you agree with that one?
Yes, yes, Jagan. I think definitely there was. I think Indus Thunders, when they were, Madhu, when they were having a partnership, they had a partner crucial. Sorry,
You are breaking
can
up.
you hear me?
You're breaking up somehow.
Yeah, I think at that point
There's
they
something
needed to
wrong.
take off.
You are breaking up, and I'll go to Jesse and come back to you. Okay, Jesse.
Jagan, I think that yes, it could be clearly visible. I was not at the game, but I mean that's not a surprise to me, and I would not say that created a difference actually. Uh, we I mean Brownstone and any team, I mean they know their strengths and weaknesses up front. They know that uh, uh, they and then they would not even have discussed. Why do something just because it's a final and you need to do something different that you're not strong at. Uh, had Talal in partnership with Rehan tried something to be agile, uh, taking a risk and trying to convert a single into a double and getting run out. That I don't think with the sort of level that we play at, I mean it definitely makes a lot of difference at the highest level of cricket that we see on the television, because I mean it's a game of inches. It's a game of uh, centimeters rather, because on a given day, an agile player can create so much impact. But I think the strengths of Brownstown lies always in the power, strategy, and how they stick to their plans. The top order, I throughout the season, I never seen anyone trying to outdo what their captain needs them to do. I haven't seen, apart from Talal, anybody trying to hit a boundary. For 12, 15 overs, the focus is on singles. They know that a single is doing the job. We do not have to risk it for a double. We do not have to risk it with the boundary, even if it is a maiden over. Let's respect it. Let's stick to our plan. So I think you are right that the difference could be absolutely visible because of the agility, because of the age factor, because of the nature of the players, because of the the differences in the physical abilities of the players. But uh, was it a game changer for me, or was it a break point for me as far as Brownstown loss is concerned? I don't think so.
Okay, Imti, can you try now?
So yeah, we were talking, but again,
There's something wrong with you, Imti. You're breaking up again. Do you want to reconnect? Okay. Okay, Imti is going to reconnect to us, and just another observation I made is this is a game of 11 players. 11 players will have a role, especially when you are playing in a playoffs. And Brownstown, clearly, I felt like they played with only 10, because if you look at Rehan Malik, who usually opens the innings, ended up coming at number 10 or number 11. He was the last wicket, I guess. So you are wasting one player there, and this is what I felt. Had he opened the innings, things would have been different, because he's a hitter. He's not somebody like who pushes and looks for one run. Your thoughts on that?
Again, Jagan, I don't think so. I mean, I think the plan that they have up front is to contain. And Salal, since he's not a slogger, he's a proper batsman. He likes to play long innings, but on the same time, not just love to be bogged down by the attack. He likes to rotate. He likes to take ones and twos. He can hit boundaries, but I think the role that has been assigned to him is do not take the risky option. Rather, play safe, play ones and twos, but just do not stay there for survival. But I think yes, there is a role for everyone in the team. But I think if you remember, I mentioned even in the last show that we did. You're saying they missed on one guy. I think Brownstown reached here because of the contribution from just 4 to 5 guys. I mean, throughout the season, they had these 4 or 5 match winners, and invariably, without failure, 1 and even 2 from them every single match raised their hand and performed in a manner that it was stronger than the contribution that the opponent is putting as a team. So that's the power of these individuals. And when I heard Sandeep saying that he was not too worried about Mansab and Adnan, to be honest, I appreciate his boldness, but I would not like to believe that they did not have any fear of those 2 guys, because what Brownstown did was set the stage for them. It was a clear, I mean, it was writing on the wall that the only thing they are going to do is to hit the ball out of the park. And trust me, apart from Jalaj and Dhruv and maybe Dinesh, I think even Dinesh, if they are on song, if Mansab and Adnan are on song, as I said, all they need is pace on the ball, and they'll just go for it, connect most of the times, and you just cannot take anything away from guys who have been doing that from the situations where I think against Pokhari's they needed 70 odd in 6-7 overs, and they finished the match with 1.5-2 overs to spare. In even more, I think Mansab hit 7 sixes. Again, in the next game, he hit 5 sixes. Adnan comes in, hit 4, 5 sixes, and so it's not that it's a one-day fluke. It's a one-off. They are doing it consecutively because the opponents have been playing into their hands also, because of the lack of the resources. I think a team like Glads, who I think has the most strong roster, even they couldn't think of a factor that we should look for an option of taking pace off the ball against these 2 guys. That's why I said Sandeep did a fantastic job. And so I think there was always going to be a contest where more teamwork would be against some of the freaks of the league. And I think those were doing fantastic. But on the day of the final, some of the decisions that Indus Thunders took, some of the execution that Jalaj and his teammates did, I think that was the difference between the 2 teams, rather than 1 or 2 players from Brownstown not playing their part. They never had so much to do, so much to offer, I think.
Okay, Imti is back. Imti, your thoughts?
Are we on the same point?
Yeah, you can
Are we
start with the
discussing
same point. And I'll
Yeah.
ask you this next one too. And I also want to get the opinion from both Jalaj and Sandeep Gopu about Rehan Malik not opening the innings. Okay, I'll start with Imti.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring two points specifically to the running between the wickets of both the teams. I think in the final there was an instance when Madhu and Narendra were playing, and I think they ran 4 runs. They ran 4 runs like against field on an overthrow, but still that intent was there. I think they were looking for those runs, making ones into twos, and trying to keep scoring of every ball. So that intent was there. Whereas on the other hand, I think it was in this game or in the semi-final game, Brownstown's. I heard Brownstown's batsman saying that even if the over goes as a maiden, we don't have to worry. We just need 1 or 2 balls in our zone, and we can cleanly hit them out of the park. So that is kind of the mentality or the strategy that they come with. That it's not the intent of scoring ones and twos and make the scoreboard ticking, but 1-2 big hits that will just change the momentum of the game for Brownstown.
Okay, now about Rehan Malik coming at the end of the innings. I mean, as the last wicket. Normally he opens the winning, and if you see that particular day, Indus Thunders opening pair bowling, they weren't that great. Okay, very even I was shocked when one of the bowlers was bowling diagonally, medium pace diagonal bowling. So I felt like that is where they should have used Rehan Malik. Okay.
Well,
and
again, like,
yeah, please go ahead.
No, I mean, like, yes, Rehan Malik has been their opener for all the games throughout the season, and I think in the final he had to come out, like, just to keep the same pair so that the pair understands each other, and there are a lot of things that happen like between the openers. They have their I think, what do you call it, like their coordination, I would say, that is set. And again, like in a big game like final, changing that combination might have been upsetting for Brownstone. But I think if you look at the game that happened, I think it really did not affect that much because their openers did get some good runs, and I think the first wicket fell, but then the one down, the partnership for the third wicket was very crucial, and it was going on smooth for them. Had Brownstone won the game, then we wouldn't have talked about it. But because the result is not in their favor now that we are bringing up that point again. But at least he should not have come that down. I would have thought he should have at least come in the middle order where there were wickets falling. I think maybe he could have at least stopped one end from wickets. So maybe that was something that he could have thought about, Rashid Malik, when he was deciding the batting order.
Okay, now I'll go to Sandeep Gopu. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I rightly agree with MT. Obviously, what I thought when Brownstone opened with Talal and Yasir, because the left and right combination obviously do, miracles at that time. So I thought the reason why Yasir was there is maybe due to the wides and the extra runs they get. I think that's exactly what I thought, and I do believe that was the right choice because if you see Talal at the other end, if you have a batsman like Talal, obviously you can experiment with any of your batsmen in your team. So and I rightly believe like Talal was the one. If he stays for 10 plus overs, I think the game is rightly back to the Brownstone team. But when Yasir got out, I think what I felt was Rehan, when he came in, they had a good partnership of 40, 45 plus runs. And after that, I just felt like Rehan Malik should have been got in instead of Mansab or Saad, I believe. So I think that was a wrong choice because the only reason I felt is when Talal got out, I think there has to be some sort of stabilization they have to have. I think that's when Thunders and I thought was like if you take a quick wicket and the pressure will be right back on Mansab and Adnan. and that's exactly what happened. And I think Rehan Malik was really missing big time over there. And I think that was I mean, obviously, it's kind of a big challenge for a captain. I mean, since I'm a captain, I know how big of a challenge if you wanted to take a particular player getting into batting or bowling. So I think Rashid would have felt the same thing, standing in Mansab instead of Rahan at the time where he needs some, I mean, quick runs. But I felt like when he was there, the target was like 6 per over or something, 6.5 per over. But after Mansab got out, the pressure was right back on Adnan because the required run rate was going more than 7. So I think what I felt was Adnan was really like he was not playing up to his potential, because I know any player in the final, especially if you have a required run rate of 7.5, there's no way you can get like a couple of sixes, because you don't have a good partner on the opposite side where you wanted it to be. Like if Adnan and Mansab was stayed for 5-6 overs, I think I really feel like they had a chance. But as I said, like Jalaj was a key for them, and that's exactly what we thought of putting right, like the pressure what we wanted to put on Adnan and Mansab was with no fast bowling or medium pace, and that was only person who can mess up their lineup is Jalaj. So I think he did the right thing. But Rashid, I believe Rehan should be used in the middle when a quick wicket was like when Rehan or Talal got out. I think Rehan was the one who should be coming up. But I think Rashid was just sending Saad. I don't know what was the reason, but I think that was a mess up according to me.
Okay, we have only 7 minutes left. Before we conclude our show, I'll start with Jalaj. Jalaj, who is your MVP for the finals?
Sorry, who is?
Who is your MVP, most valuable
MVP
player of the finals?
I think it would be tough to decide. I would pick two actually. I would pick Madhu and Dinesh. I would say that Madhu controlled, in the batting, he controlled the innings in the middle, did not let the wicket go down. And I think Dinesh bowled pretty well in the middle overs, which created a lot of pressure. I mean, Manoj and Dinesh in tandem bowled pretty much very good actually in the middle overs, I think. So I would say that Madhu and Dinesh would be my choices. It's very hard to pick between those two, but I think Madhu and Dinesh I would pick.
Okay. Normally DCL gives to only one. If you have to pick one, who is that?
Then I would pick. I think I would pick Dinesh.
Dinesh. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesse, you there?
Oh yeah, I thought you said Imti. See, my MVP would be I'll pick either Dinesh or Jalaj, but to be honest, realizing and emphasizing on the fact that it wasn't over until Jalaj actually dismissed both Mansab and Adnan. I think Brownstown did everything right till then. They had a plan, they executed it well. So I think the game-changing moment, if you ask me, who was the game changer on that night, it was Jalaj. But sometimes we mistakenly give credit only to the guy who comes in the end and then does some amazing things, but does it for a very little span of time. But in cricket, persistence always pays the key. And I think Dinesh and Madhu actually showed Jalaj is right, because getting 4 wickets and 4 wickets in the span of I think 3 overs by Dinesh, I think broke the backbone of Brownstown chase up front. It must have created a lot of doubts in the minds of Mansab and Adnan that okay, we are here earlier than we thought of. Maybe we were thinking 2 years before, 2 overs before that we might not even need us. Talal would finish the game, or the other guys who are set, and we would just be needing to do the formality of last 10, 12 runs. But I think Dinesh broke the momentum. Similarly, Madhu, I think he, as I said, it is most of the times taken for granted that okay, if the platform is set, the openers did their job. The number 1, 2, and 3 survived there, did not give them the wickets up front, faced the quality bowling, and now you can have the momentum back to you by just playing positive cricket. But it's much easier said than done. So I think Madhu also had a great impact. But again, as I would again emphasize that with Brownstown in particular, the match has always been controlled by those two guys in the last few games, very important games. And I think dismissing both of those guys in the span of an over or two, without even letting them hit even for one boundary, and that's the reason why is the margin of 30 runs. I think my MVP would be Jalaj.
Okay, Imti.
I think that's a good sum up, like discussing the different viewpoints I have seen in the game. I think I would give it to Dinesh. The 17th over, and when he got Rehan, that was the game changer.
Okay, again we can't hear you.
Inning. Okay, something
is wrong with your machine, I think. Okay, but okay. Just pick one name.
I think he picked Dinesh.
He picked Dinesh. Okay, so okay, I'll go to Gopu and I'll come back to both Imti and Jesse. Gopu, who is your MVP?
I mean, definitely what Jesse and Imti, I totally agree with them. Like I had a couple of players in mind, like Dinesh, Manoj, Jalaj, Madhu, Narendra, but I would pick Dinesh because if you see, like he's my man of the match as well. But I mean, the reason is the way he responded, and special thanks to Dinu. And we really wanted his performance, how he performed in final, and this was the best performance of 2019 from him. And I would pick him as the MVP.
Dinesh Pandeti?
Yes.
Is your MVP. Okay. So one of the match umpire says Dinesh Pandeti and captain says Dinesh Pandeti, and Jalaj also saying Dinesh Pandeti. Did you say Dinesh Pandeti, Jalaj? You picked?
Yes, definitely. Dinesh Pandeti, yes.
Okay, so all of you are picking. But what matters right now is, before I go to you guys for last words, what matters now is, what DCL analysts, Imti and Jesse picks. Okay, whoever they decide is the MVP for us, for our radio, and he can go to authentic.
Jagan, are you talking about just the final or over the entire tournament?
Just the final. Okay. And we have a different story for all the playoffs. Man of the matches will get free buffet, but MVP of the finals picked by our analysts, they'll get an opportunity to go with the family, a maximum 4 members family, to Authentica for free buffet. Okay, and these two will decide that one, Imti and Jesse. Okay, quickly, right? As soon as you decide this one, I will be asking the last word and closing the show.
Yeah, I think I said my MVP was Jalaj, but if we have to come to one name, and I should be the one making adjustment here, because I mentioned in my analysis also that persistence is huge in cricket. When I started just dissecting the game, I said that it was not that great season for Dinesh, what he's known for usually. Uh, he came into the finals with an impression that he's one of the best, but I think his performances were not as scary or as ruthless as it used to be in the past. What he showed on the given day is that he's a true champion, what he's actually made of, and when his team needs him most, uh, he would raise his hand and deliver. And again, I think I didn't see the game. I don't know if the video is there or not, but most of his dismissal were bold. And when he does that, I can absolutely tell you it must be quick like anything in the areas where batsmen just cannot believe that how did it miss his defense. And I think that makes a statement also in the mind of the batsman coming to face him after the dismissal of the current batsman. So I think if but my pick was Jalaj because seeing strengths of Brownstown, I think he was kept in by his captain for that particular role. That look, Jalaj, this is make or break. Everyone in the world might think it's a bad move. I trust you. When you get these two out, we win the game, and he did that. I think it was a great show. But if I have to be flexible, I'll give to Dinesh Pandey. Yes.
Okay, both Imti and Jesse said Dinesh Pandeti. So Dinesh Pandeti can, he'll get free buffet for his family up to 4 members. Okay, Authentica. Okay, and Gopu, if you can help me, I'll inform this one to Authentica owners. Probably they know Dinesh. Okay, and we can coordinate that one. And remaining playoffs, I need to discuss with my analysts, and we will declare that one too very soon. Okay. And with that, I'll go for our last words from our guest of the night. First, I'll go to Jalaj. Jalaj, you want to conclude the show saying something?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very good performance in all from Indus. And I thank Sandeep in particular and for giving me chance to play with such a champion side. This is the first time I have played, DCL to that extent, and I have completely enjoyed this tournament. And I'm hoping that I would play next year with much more intent now. So thank you so much for the show, Jagan and everybody, and thank you, Sandeep, for letting me part of Indus.
Thank you for joining the show. And Sandeep, your last words.
Yeah. Thanks the DCL committee and DCL radio for inviting me. And Jalaj, it's not you thanking me, but we are blessed to have such a player like you. And definitely, Jagan, before committee decides something on the semi-final, I would like to say Jalaj is my man of the match for the semi-final game against GLCC. So please do a favor on picking him up on from your end as well. So thank you all listeners, and thanks committee for all the hard work you put in. And I hope every DCL lover enjoyed this show, and also that they thoroughly enjoyed DCL radio throughout the season.
Okay, before I go to Jesse and Imti, okay, Imti and Jesse are very good analysts, and they'll pick not going by the stats. They'll pick. They'll do analysis on right moments and how they pick the wickets, all that stuff. So trust me, they'll do wonderful job in declaring all the playoff man of the matches or playoff MVPs, whatever it is. Okay, now I'll go to Imti.
Yes, Jagan, again, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all our listeners who have been our biggest support throughout the season. And I would also like to thank the DCL committee for a successful completion of the DCL 2019. And again, another opportunity to for us to take part in this radio show. So thanks to DCL Radio for having us on the show. And also congratulations to Indus Thunders and Brownstown also for making it to the finals. Indus Thunders becoming the champions. Congratulations again. And hopefully we'll have a great season to talk about next year. Until then, good night to everybody.
Jesse.
Yep. I think first of all, I like to congratulate both Thunders and Brownstown, and Thunders in particular. We might say so many things that Brownstown did right throughout the season, but in the end there is only one winner, and Indus Thunders truly and thoroughly deserves it, and they have proved that they are a champion team. What other teams showed also, I think whichever team moved to playoffs, whichever team won the crunch games, close games, is a learning for every other team going forward. Is that a good team is not the one who is good on the paper. A good team is not the one who thinks that okay, we have these many star players, we have these many contributors, and we have good all-rounders, and those will finish the game. A good team is where at least one or two individuals will find a way to win the game for their team, to win those crunch situations, to try and to be desperate to be contributing in one way or the other. I think if we asked and we discussed about who would be our top four in the starting of the season, and I think most of us picked Clads, Thunders, and I think Raptors and others. I think Thunders was in every team's mind, but what Brownstown showed us is that if you believe in the process, if you believe in setting a template, if you believe in what your capabilities are, in realizing your strengths and weaknesses, even with limited resources, but some of the best resources, but not the entire 11 players are equally blessed, but limited sources, but good planning, good strategy, good template. I think you can do wonders. And as I said, it's a game of inches, the beautiful game that we are all in love with. I think Brownstown could very easily have been champions, but as again I said, Indus Thunders showed why they are true champions, because they won the crunch situations. They have a team that can go so far, and I think I'll end by thanking committee, thanking Jagan, thanking all the umpires for the thankless job, and just one food for thought. I think this is my belief is in the coming years also in DCL, especially with this ball which can travel a lot. You can hit sixes at will. I think the ball getting away from the right-handed batsman in particularly, because the boundaries are only on offer on the leg side. I think quality leg spinners or left armers, the pace-off left armers, the spinners. I think whoever has the better options in left-hand options in the stronger teams I'm talking about. I think Indus Thunders, a huge part of their winning the tournament is Jalaj. That's how I believe it. They always had a good team, but I think without Jalaj, that's how I feel. Without Jalaj, it would have been difficult to overcome two good teams in semi-finals and finals. So I think it's a food for thought. Where ball turning away from right-handed batsmen could be the thing that would make make or break in the coming seasons. And hopefully we had a great season. Hopefully we did justice to all the listeners that took their 1 hour every Thursday and listening to 3 or 4 of us. And hope you appreciate it. And we'll see you next year also.
Thanks a lot, Jesse. And before I conclude, I would like to say thanks to all the listeners. Today we have close to 250 listeners on our show, and what a wonderful 2019. This is the first time all teams played 12 games and not even single game missed, and no luck factor, and very well played. And DCL has given a lot of hope for emerging teams, because there are n number of teams, I can say, they outperformed several times. There are some teams they did not make it to playoffs, but yet they have wonderful talent, and I'm sure the 25th year of DCL is going to be rocking. With that, I'll say thank you to my friends, analysts, Jasneet, Imti, for supporting me. And thanks a lot. Thank you, Sandeep, Gopu, and Jalaj. And congratulations once again. With that, we will conclude tonight's show. Good night. We will come back next year. Thank you.